Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to one of my live videos. Currently, just before I get into the details, I'm currently going to be having an early night tonight. Obviously, because I've just started a college course and I have got college tomorrow, so I'm going to do this live video now. More things is currently updated in the press. This is now about Eric Baily at Manchester United. We know he has especially this season had a lot of irregular game time under Jose Mourinho. We know we've had him since 2016. We got him from Villarreal for £30 million, and he's out of Jose Mourinho's favour now at Old Trafford, because we know that's Jose Mourinho's after his centre back, originally. But obviously we know recently, especially Lindelof and Smalling have been playing as a centre back partnership mostly. Baily's only made 7 appearances this season for Manchester United. All in all, he's made 43 appearances since his arrival from Real. He's only scored that one goal, that goal he got against Swansea, and he's also another player that's officially coming to an end of his deal with Manchester United. So his contract comes to a conclusion at the end of the season. So if Manchester United are willing to sell him, will want to try and cash in for the player in January, and will help. Jose Mourinho will look to recoup or invest the majority of the money that we originally paid for him from Villarreal, which was £30 million. As I said, he's coming to an end of his deal. Reportedly, AC Milan are interested in the player. Are interested in going for the Eric Bailly in the January window. AC Milan have spent about £143 million in the last summer window. But yeah, this is according to the press, and obviously we know Jose Mourinho's missed out a lot of potential targets. He missed out on a lot of players in the summer. We know Jose Mourinho is heavily interested in Toby Alderweireld. He's also interested in Milan Skriniar from Inter Milan. He's a good centre-back, what I've heard of him. He's only been at Inter Milan since 2017. Jose Mourinho's been heavily linked to him. A few teams are interested in the player. I think Milan are prepared to have discussions about renewing his contract, according to the media. He's been at Inter Milan since 2017. He's also been at Sampdoria in the past. He's made 41 appearances, I think, for Inter Milan since he arrived from Sampdoria. He also in 2016 got named the best. He got named for Slovenia the best under-20 player in 2016 as well. He's supposedly a good centre back, very good strong tackler. He's versatile because he can also play in that defensive midfield as well. The current player, and as I said, he's made 41 appearances for Inter Milan. So Jose Mourinho's been, very, very interested in him. I think you mentioned Barcelona and Manchester City have also been interested. Manchester City have got a strong defensive unit, as you can tell this season. They haven't leaked many goals, but they've got a fantastic attack as well of Manchester City. So basically, we'll look to sign him at a new deal. But as it says in the press, the AC Milan are interested in Eric Bailly. Also mentioned that Tottenham and Arsenal have also been interested in the player. It has been out of favour at Manchester United as the current player. But yeah, reportedly AC Milan are considering an interest in the player. But obviously, if Jose Mourinho recoups, the majority of this £30 million, if he does sanction Bailey off in the January window rather than let him go on the 3 in the summer, it would help, towards, maybe getting Milan Skriniar or Toby Alderweireld in the January window. As I said, we know things have been. We know things that Bailey's had a lot of injury concerns, as well, since he's come to Manchester United, as we're all aware of. Bailey's not the only one that's coming to an end of his deal. You've got Martial, who hasn't signed a new deal, David De Gea, who was yet to sign a new deal at Manchester United. But yeah, basically, reportedly, we know Jose Mourinho's going to have discussions with Ed Woodward about plans for the window. Presumably, talks are getting underway. Reportedly, Jose Mourinho's going to get £100 million spending spree in the window. He spent £360 million so far on 11 players, so that's just basically under £400 million. So Jose Mourinho's will reportedly get £100 million. He's still convinced we can get the top 4. He's convinced we can get the top 4. As I said, and yeah, talks are getting underway, and I think there's been fans saying Jose Mourinho in, there's been fans saying Jose Mourinho out as well. But for me, I'd give him time, Jose Mourinho. I really would. give him time. I think now the recent results, based on the recent results, you know, he doesn't need sacking yet, does Jose Mourinho? He's been, I think, you know, in the last, you know, 5 games we've done okay. You know, we've won 2 now on the trot. You know, Everton and Bournemouth, and you know he came out with a shock admission. Did Jose Mourinho? And, he was very very honest about the Bournemouth game. The first half display very very poor defensively. He said awful, and Jose Mourinho's looking to address that. He also wants another attacker, you know, to line up with Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, so basically, Jose Mourinho's got a very, very good pedigree. He's a winner. He's won titles everywhere he's been. You know, he's won 3 trophies since he's come to Old Trafford. So we need to go on a winning streak, you know, like we did in the Fergie days, like 7, 8 games on a winning streak, which we haven't managed to do for a while. You know, but we haven't won the Premier League since 2013 as well. And we could actually see a few players leave in January. As I said, you know, Sanchez could potentially leave in the January window as well. PSG, you know, we linked to him last year, so PSG may be preparing to make a bid for him in the January window. So Jose Mourinho will have to hire out with placements, and he has, you know, got wait there, guys, before I'm pissing Baily, guys. And he, and he has got a lot of potential. Sorry, guys, wait there. Sorry guys, but I just went a bit funny. So he has got a lot of potential replacements. Sanchez reportedly PSG linked to him there, consider making a move for him in January. Initially PSG were going to put a bid in for him at the end of the current season. For me, the majority of the Manchester United supporters do want Alexis Sanchez out. Because he hasn't fulfilled that number 7 spot very, very well. He hasn't performed very, very well in that position since coming to Manchester United. We know he's versatile. We know he's Premier League proven. He proven himself at Arsenal. He had experience with underneath and, you know, Barcelona. He can play in numerous positions, but number 7 was his main position, you know, especially at Arsenal under Arsene Wenger. But he hasn't really performed since he's come. He's only scored 4 goals since his arrival in January. So he could be gone within, you know, the next, you know, he's been here since January. He could be gone within the next couple of months. He could be gone January, maybe within the next 12 months. You know, he could be gone if he doesn't go in January. Alexis Sanchez, but obviously he's earning around 25 million a year. He's on £500,000 a week. You know, the highest paid player in the Premier League. But currently, the way as I keep saying, his wages are affecting, basically, according to the media, David De Gea signing a new deal with the club. It's also affected Martial signing a new deal with the club as well. David De Gea, who has been here since 2011, you know, so this is now his 8th season at Manchester United. Is David De Gea, you know, very, very good in Spain. We know Real Madrid have been heavily linked to him for a while, but obviously Real Madrid have got Courtois, didn't they, as we all know. David De Gea said he's not focusing on the contract at the moment. Jose Mourinho doesn't have much faith, and he's not too confident that David De Gea will sign his current extension on his contract. Comes to an end soon, as we all know. But reportedly, Sanchez is the problem. Sanchez's salary is the problem of De Gea signing a new deal and Martial signing a new deal. De Gea is potentially the best goalkeeper in the world. Martial, been here since 2015. Very, very good for France. Very, very good player. You know, he scored 5 goals now. He's in 5 games. Very, very good player, as I said. We know his agent's been in discussions about potentially getting him a new contract at Manchester United because his current run's coming to an end soon. Very, very good young talent, as I said, good experience, just like Rashford, as I said. But we've got a lot of players in that team that are coming to the end of the deals. But yeah, the main part in this is that Eric Baily, reportedly, it says in the press, in a few media outlets, AC Milan are interested in going for him in January. He's made 40 odd appearances since he's come to the club. In the Premier League, he's only scored that 1 goal, as I mentioned. We know he's had injury problems since he's come, just comparable to Phil Jones, because, you know, he's had injury problems, you know, since he's come in 2012. He's had quite a few injury problems. He's had injury problems this season. Phil Jones, we got him from Blackburn, £17 million. Phil Jones. Phil Jones also, Man United have got the option to extend his contract by a further year. Manchester United, I should presume, will negotiate putting his 12-month contract extension on his current contract. So he's coming to an end of his deal as well, Phil Jones. But I think in that sense, we definitely need a centre back. I think definitely, even if Baily goes, we can get a good replacement for Baily. We can get potentially a defender that's better than Baily. I think Baily, don't get me wrong, when he's playing more often, when he's fully match fit, I think, he can perform fantastically well in that centre back position. But obviously, especially this season under Mourinho, he hasn't, especially, been getting the game time, as he should be this season. But I do think he's an absolutely fantastic centre back. But obviously, if he is to leave Manchester United, Man United would rather, cash in for the player, rather than let him go on the 3 next summer, because obviously his contract comes to a conclusion next summer. Does Eric Baily's as well. But yeah, as I said, giving you a bit of team news going into the Juventus game. As I said, Jose Mourinho's unsure about Romelu Lukaku, if he's going to be starting. For me, at the moment in time, Lukaku, hasn't been in great form for Manchester United. He hasn't scored in 9-10 games for Manchester United. I thought he was in 9-10 games for Manchester United. I thought it was very good last season for us, Romelu Lukaku, but he hasn't scored in like 19 games. Was absent from the squad against Bournemouth. As I said, he was absent from the squad against Bournemouth. But for me, Romelu Lukaku, he's proven in English football. Everyone did talk about, before he came to Manchester United, about him being a big game bottler. He's potentially a big game bottler. But when Jose Mourinho said he's not sure he will be participating in the Juventus game, but especially with the form of Martial at the moment, and Rashford scoring the winner on Saturday against Bournemouth, I'd rather. The majority, according to the press, the majority of the Manchester United fans want to see Lukaku dropped, and want to see Martial or Rashford in that centre position, fully spot. So they'd like to see Rashford or Martial put up that centre to full his current spot. We know Martial usually plays on the left, and that Rashford plays on the left or right, but obviously due to Lukaku hasn't played, obviously he's put Rashford in the centre, or he's put Martial in the centre. He put Rashford in the centre against Everton. Lukaku came on in that game later on, and he totally missed Bournemouth, and he put Martial in the centre. But I think Martial performs fantastically well on that left-hand side. Fantastic, genuine plays down the flank. He performed very well in the centre against Bournemouth as well, but I think a lot of Manchester United fans want to see him dropped. Herrera could be potentially, as I said, coming into the starting 11. He isn't getting the game time on Jose Mourinho as he got under Louis van Gaal. We've had him at the club since 2014, the player. It's 2015, no. 2014 or 2015, but he could potentially make it to starting 11. He was the one from Mourinho's perspective who changed the game at the weekend as well. Just going to get a drink of this. But as I said, now we're in a good run of form. I think we're not going to win the league. We're not in the title race this season. As I said, I think obviously with the strappings of this club, it's it's a huge club. We've got fantastic players. We've had fantastic players over the years, especially under Alex Ferguson. But I think considering the amount of money we've spent, as I keep saying, Manchester United should be up there challenging. Hopefully now Jose Mourinho can turn it around, because obviously we know the board are backing Jose Mourinho. It looked, we was on a bad run of, we've had a bad start to season. This was, season, so far under Jose Mourinho, but obviously recently it's been the results have come into good results, and Jose Mourinho seems to be turning it around at Manchester United. As I said, he's got a good pedigree. But overall, I think he's a good manager. Obviously, there's been talks, of Paul Pogba. I think he will be looking forward to this game against Juventus on Wednesday as well. Obviously, because it's his ex-club, he made 178 appearances for them. He won honours with them. He's basically come out in the press and called Manchester United his own. His own as well. Obviously, we paid £89 million for the player. Hasn't really made an impact, as I said, at Manchester United. since he's currently come to the club. But he does have the odd good game here and there, Paul Pogba. But yeah, Juventus may return for him in January as well. So, we could see a few players go in January, as I said. But I think for this game, the Juventus game, Fellaini's still supposedly out. I don't think it'll be long before they do recover from their injuries. Doyle, I think, still injured. Valencia's had a mouth injury as well, so he hasn't been participating, at that right back position lately. Obviously, at that right back, Ashley Young's recently been full in his spot as well. But it was disappointing, summer window. We did get 3 players in. It was shame that we didn't get a centre half in. It was shame we didn't get an attacker in. As I said. But there's still time in January to bolster the squad, and address that problem in that centre half and that front line. Because look how many goals Manchester United have conceded this season. We have, leaked a lot of goals. 18 goals now this season so far. This season. But yeah, going to the game. Also, Jose Mourinho said Lukaku could be out. As I said, he also from Juventus, they could lose 3 of their key players. I think what's his name, Costa, suffered an injury during the weekend, so he could be out. It's mentioned that Bernardeschi had a slight injury as well. Mandzukic as well, and Matuidi as well could all be out for Juventus. We know Juventus spent £230 million in the window. Ronaldo, yet again playing against Manchester United. But I tell you what, I loved Cristiano Ronaldo, absolutely fantastic player. He was very, very good for Manchester United. I'd love him to come back at Manchester United, the amount of goals he scored each game. He's skillful, he's tenacious. Very, very good player indeed. But we know, obviously, that he's aging up now. That's never going to happen. So we had 6 good years out of him. He won a lot of trophies with us. As we all know, he was very, very good in his 9 or 10 years with Real Madrid. He won honours with them. I don't think he's really he hasn't been the best player, since he's gone to Juventus. We know he's on, Juventus paid €100 million for him. He's on I think is it 4-year contract, something like that. He's on, I think his salary is about 30 million a year. I think his annual salary is about 30 million a year. But yeah, I do really, really miss it, Ronaldo. We had them good players back in days like Ronaldo, Tevez, who linked up very, very well, and Wayne Rooney there. That's when basically Manchester United were one of the best, and obviously, that was under Alex Ferguson. When we won the title, we once won the title. When we had Ronaldo, we won and Tevez and all that. We won the title 3 years on the trot: 2007, 2008, 2009. We also nearly won it in 2010. We lost it by a point to Chelsea. Won it back in 2011, obviously. And then 2013, that was our last league trophy. We won as well. But we know these players, are different, to the players that Fergie had. We know Mourinho's still inheriting some of the players, Moyes and Van Gaal had as well. But for me, do I think top 4 this season will be good enough to keep Mourinho in the job? The Manchester United board may say, yeah. Depends if who he gets in January, Jose Mourinho. I don't think top 4. He will get us in the Champions League for next season. That'd be secure. But for me, considering the amount of money we spent, we should be, up there competing with the teams. But knowing the board, if we do get the top 4 at the end of the season, they'll probably give it Jose Mourinho probably at least another season at Old Trafford. If we finish out of the top 4, then that will be basically, in my opinion, a totally different story. But yeah, now we've got to treat every game now like a cup final, from now on, because we've already had 3 defeats this season, to now get into that top 4. As I said, we've got 2 difficult games. Juventus is going to be a very, very hard game. They haven't lost in all competitions since last November, as I currently reminded you earlier on in my preview. And they've got world class players of Juventus. They're very good in Serie A. As I said, they've got a fantastic history, just like Manchester United have as well. So it's good. We've got a huge boost in this, because if Mandzukic is out and You know, Costa's out and Matuidi's out. Like, you know, that's potentially better for Manchester United. You know, we was basically woeful in the first leg against Juventus. You know, in the reverse fixture. You know, Juventus totally dominated from start to finish, in my opinion. Paulo Dybala had scored the goal. I can't recall Manchester United, you know, even having a shot at target in that game. For that was an atrocious performance in that game. Juventus are top of the group. They haven't even conceded yet in the Champions League. You know, I've got three wins out of three. I think they've scored 6 goals. You know, they won 3-0 against Young Boys. What I think it was 3-0. I can't remember. They beat Valencia 2-0 and Manchester United 1-0. So they've scored 6 goals and haven't conceded 1 goal as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very difficult game. Smalling's, you know, up for the game. You know, Smalling's got a lot of, you know, confidence going into the game as well. So yeah, as I said, the main part of the video is reportedly AC Milan are heavily linked to go for Baily in January. Also, Arsenal have been interested in Baily. Tottenham have been interested in Baily. Baily, especially this season, hasn't had the game time. You know, he's had a regular game time, and obviously, from Baily's perspective, you know, he's not very, very satisfied about this. So we know he's falling down the pecking order. Manchester United. He's only scored 1 goal since he's come. We know in that centre back position, Lindelof and Smalling have been participating lately, especially. But Baily's only played 7 times this season for United. You know, I think that was Jose Mourinho's first signing back into 2016. You know, from Villarreal. But I still like him. He's very good in the air. He's a very calm and composed defender. He can also be aggressive as well. Very good strong tackler as well. But I also like Milan scrimmer. As I said, Milan. I think they have faith and they want to basically sign him a contract renewal, as it says in the press. Jose Mourinho had been heavily linked to him during this summer. I haven't mentioned him at all in my previous videos, so I looked it up in the media. He's partly been at Sampdoria before. He's made 41 appearances, I think, since joining Inter Milan in 2017. So I think this is his first year or second year now with Inter Milan. I think his height 188 as well is the players. So Jose Mourinho has been heavily linked with him as well. He's also been linked with Toby Alderweireld as well. So yeah, we will just see what happens. So yeah, that's your latest news on the Eric Baily situation. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update today. Drop your comments, like, below on the channel, subscribe if you do consider, and take it easy. And I'll see you. I'll be doing another live video very, very soon. Peace.